Hi, I'm Sunny Leone, and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
मुझको तो पता था होगा ये लोग ऐसी वैसी बातें करेंगे पर मुझे क्या करना है किसी से बेबी आई एम हॉट आई गॉट what everyone wants. Alright, that's a song that I think the flagship song of Karanjit Kaur, the untold story of Sunny Leone, and it's a huge pleasure to have Sunny Leone back with us. Pleasure having you back once again.
Thank you.
And yeah, so I think the song sums it up. लोग तो कुछ ना कुछ बातें करेंगे, but I'm hot. I got what everyone wants.
I don't usually say that I'm hot. You know, whatever the rest of the line is. I don't usually speak like this, but it's good writing.
Right. All right. So happy with the response that you've got?
I'm beyond happy with the response. I didn't, as I was saying earlier, I don't have many expectations in life when it comes to releasing product, because you don't know what people are going to say or how they're going to respond to it. But this was a really nice response. Right. Everybody's been so amazing. The fans have loved it, so it's amazing.
Right. And the C groups, they had issues with the Kaur in your surname in the web series.
Yeah.
So how do you react to that?
It's my name. That's who I am. So I don't think that that's a reflection of anything but just me and not anybody else. So.
Right. All right. So that's a very interesting. As you were talking, that there's a very interesting line that you have in the last episode, where you're discussing with Daniel that there are certain regrets that Karen has, especially the hurt that her decisions caused to her parents. But as Sunny, she is fine with the decision that she has made, and that she really liked the glamour and the glitz that was associated with her profession. There's a bit of a dichotomy. Do you agree with that? Like you are living two lives, like Karen and Sunny. How do you manage to just balance it out?
I think that most entertainers in whether you're singing, acting, or any sort of entertainment that you're providing out there for people, I think that most people have, it's almost like your alter ego of maybe who you want to be, or maybe when Sunny's performing, it's like big and grand, and I talk a lot more, and I'm a lot louder, and but if you find me in my house, I'm a lot more quiet, more reserved, and I think that there's different sides of people's personalities and who they are in front of a camera and who they are off camera, and there are I would never. One thing that the show brought out is what my parents or family or different people around me would feel, because when you're living your own life, you're not thinking about how someone else feels or how someone else thinks, or how something you've done might have hurt somebody, or all these different things. So that was a very interesting part of this whole journey, which is I think what naturally killed me inside. But I think people have different shades and different things about themselves always.
Definitely, but why it becomes very interesting as far as you're concerned, because you grew up in a conservative atmosphere. Your mother, I think, who's brilliantly played by Grusha Kapoor, I think he's fabulous. Even your father, I think Mr. Anand, I think he's playing your father. I think he wonderfully done. Even your brother's character, I think he's really good. The bonding between you two has come across very nicely. When I was watching it, I remembered the interview that we had for Leila in Spotlight. Spotlight, what is that? Farhan's theater. And while we were talking about your brother, your eyes had turned moist. So I was remembering that conversation that we had at that point of time. Now, why it becomes interesting as far as you're concerned, that you grew up in this conservative atmosphere. When you watched your first porn film, like Secret Temptations, you reacted very, very in a very different manner, maybe what other teenagers would. So that becomes different in that context.
Right.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, as a child, you don't know what you're going to do in life, and what you view as a child when you're 8 years old, 10 years old, 12-year-old, or maybe coming of age is completely different than when you become an adult, and how your views and certain things that happen in your life, how those things help change your perspective of maybe everything. So at that time, yeah, it was gross and weird, and I never in a million years would have thought like I would be entering a field where I was, maybe 10 years before saying, oh my gosh, this is disgusting. So I just think that it's human nature to evolve, and you evolve with your way of thinking, even as a child, like what you think at those very interesting moments in your life that you don't forget, but you don't think that helps shape or change anything that you might view later on. So yeah, it might be a little weird for people to see that I wasn't into it. Of course, I was very young, so it's not something I think all children maybe find interesting.
Do you have apprehensions about the fact that you're playing yourself from 19 years onwards, and you look very, very convincing? Do you have apprehensions that would you look convincing as a 19-year-old?
I didn't know if I'd be convincing. I did it, and I know that we did a few trials where we added like more fat on my face, like to round it out, like to look younger and all these different things. But once we did the look test and everything, it worked best for me to just be me, and it worked. So I think people's perception of what Sunny Leone should look like is someone who's always dolled up, always tons of makeup, always this crazy hair, and when you take everything away, and you're just yourself, I think naturally things change.
Definitely. Now, you posted a picture on Instagram recently with your on-screen parents and your brother. I personally looked at it. It was very apparent that that family means a lot to you because your parents are no more, and I'm sure that you must have lived that experience, and that must have been maybe cathartic for you, maybe traumatic for you. How's the experience now when you just look back at it, and was it as real as it gets?
It's really emotional, and I know that they're not my real parents. I remember the first time that I met them. I walked in the room, we were going to do a reading together. I saw them, and less than 5 minutes I was outside crying because even though they're not them, they're playing them, and I miss them, and it wasn't something that was enlightening or cathartic at all. I know a lot of people say, oh, it must have been a healing experience to do this, and I say absolutely not. It was not healing. It was just opening Pandora's box and opening the wounds and opening everything back up, and that was not fun at all. And I thought I was mentally, physically ready to go through that, and I wasn't, not even close to ready. Even now, even talking about it, it hurts a lot, because, and it's not the situations that every family has good things happen, bad things happen. And we all have our family demons and secrets. Every family has it. It wasn't that. It was just envisioning them alive again, or watching them die again, or walking into the house that they had built. They had pictures of my parents everywhere. That was hard. It's like walking into your own personal, I don't want to say anything so bad, but like your own little personal hell almost. Like I'm staring at you people on the walls all day long, and I had, not that looking at their pictures, it's nice sometimes, but every day, and it hurts, and they're not there. It was really difficult. I cried every day.
Hanu, I'm sure. When I look at that picture as well with Grusha Kapoor, Mr. Anand, and Sunny, I would call him Sunny. So it had that moment, like when you look at it, you can feel that. Now, what I personally really liked about the entire web series was that it's very difficult to be honest about your own life, to just show people whatever you've been through. It's definitely not easy. People can have alibis that I did this because of this that happened in my life. There were moments when you felt that since your mom was drinking alcohol, and maybe that was a catalyst that drove you into what you thought you should be doing. But the fact is that then it becomes very human. It becomes very real. You go and buy a bracelet for her because that's what she really wanted. So it becomes very, very human, that mother-daughter relationship, that there are very good sides to the lady as well that come forth. So it's just everything is balancing out, and how the economic condition was, and why you really thought of maybe just taking up an offer that earlier you were not accustomed to. How important was it for you to just present things in a real manner rather than blaming anyone, including yourself?
Yeah, it was really important to me that the story was as real and honest as I can make it. And that was one thing that we had discussed from the very beginning. This isn't going to be some take of a director, a producer, a writer, a take of what somebody thinks my life should be like.
Right.
And that's what we faced a lot of, we'll call it constructive criticism from a lot of people within the industry that wanted to maybe take on this story. Was they wanted to change it into something that it wasn't, and change it into maybe something darker or more sexual, or change situations to better appeal to the Indian market, whatever that means, which I don't believe in. I believe that everything's changing right now as far as television goes and films. But that was one of the big issues that we were facing when finding somebody to support the story. The story was going to be my story. Of course, like, a location is embellished to look nice on screen, or maybe my clothes were different, or there's like little things obviously that are different, but the stories, what happened, those are true. They're all real stories, and this is like I call it like 5% of everything that's happened, because you can't fit that all into TV, obviously.
Right.
So it was important for me. Even if I look bad, it doesn't matter to me. That's my life.
Right. So you're working on season 2, which I think should be there. And
it's finished.
It's
we wrapped.
Okay. And when is it going to be here now?
I believe that they would like to release it sooner than later,
Right.
because people really enjoyed this first season.
Yeah.
Season 2 is going, it emotionally killed me. And I think that people are going to go on a very interesting and roller coaster of emotions, because season 2 is when a lot of not so great things happen. Lots of good things happen, but a lot, both my parents pass away.
Right.
So, which is a big part of my story and who I am today.
Definitely. So when each time I think the best part was that entire non-linear pattern was very interesting. So each time I just went into 1981 Canada, and basically parents just talking about your birth and naming you Gogu, and even in the last episode when they just in the Gurudwara, and they're turned away by certain people, they still call you Gogu, and the fact is that they still believe in your goodness and what you meant to them. How are those scenes for you to just relive and to just go through those patterns? Did you also speak to maybe some other people who told you certain stories that have been incorporated, or were these stories told by your parents to you?
So a lot of we'll call them the villains. A lot of the situations are culminations of so many things and so many people that were horrible to them. And my father's family, who was still to this day not very nice people, and they just were so nasty to them. And I think that's probably what hurt me, is that I didn't see them get hurt. I saw them get hurt in this. I didn't see what my parents felt. I only here and there, maybe heard them talking about my father's family and how nasty they were, but it was never like seeing how it really made them feel. And even before I told them who I was or what I was doing, even before any of that, they still weren't very nice people. So it's like everything that happened is put into those scenes. So, it was hard to be able, it was hard to watch them go through that, because I know that that's probably how they felt. I know that that's, they would tell me stories of my uncle or an aunt, somebody who was mean, something that they did, but they would never cry in front of us, or they would never, my brother and I, they would never show that type of emotion that it was like really, really hurtful, but it was hurtful. I would be mad. I'd be like, screw them. I'm not going to go see. You guys can go see them if you want, because my father was, he was all about chalo, choro, like let it go. Let's go see them. They're our family. Even if they're horrible, we'll still go see them. He had that type of personality. But they would consistently hurt and treat them. I remember my father telling me a story, which is not in the documentary, of when he first came to America. He had $100 in his pocket. He had no money, nowhere to stay. He stayed at my dad's brother's home. And him and his wife would give him one piece of bread a day. And they would make him sleep on the floor and not help him, not do anything. And I mean, this is nasty. So I remember stories like that, and I remember being so angry with them. I'm like, you guys treated them horribly, and that was before I was born. So it's not all because of me.
No. Now, so obviously these certain groups, they have certain issue with the core part of it. There have been reports where people have said that there are Punjabi rappers who are their songs, they have a lot of sexually offensive statements which are not really nice. So even they should be dropping sing and all those things, which is interesting as well. But when you look at the entire series, there are a lot of references which are very interesting. Say how your father was asked to just remove his pug, because at that point of time the entire Khalistan movement was at its peak, and people had apprehensions maybe because of the term.
They wouldn't give him a job.
Yeah.
They said they would make all these excuses up, and you saw one part of that whole story.
Right.
And they would not give him a job because we lived in this small little town, and racism was definitely at a peak, which is why I went to a Catholic school instead of a public school growing up, because it was safer. So, they went through a lot, that whole dream. I think everybody from any other country, when you think of the dream of going to, let's say, Canada or America, it's this like image of what it should be like, and how there's freedom and freedom of expression, and being able to be who you are. And that dream is then, crushed by the same thing that's going on everywhere else in the world. You just, develop this imagination of what it's going to be like, and that wasn't the case for them.
So I think there's several references, even the song, that Qadar song, where your parents, they're dancing. And so I feel that the entire Punjabi culture, the way they tried to preserve, in spite of living abroad for such a long time, I think was wonderful. And that in itself is, I think, Punjabiyat, they safeguarded, and people should look at certain things from that perspective as well. So that interview with Mr. Chaube continues right through the entire thing. And
it's not the actual. I know, like, there were a couple people saying that it's not the actual interview. It's not the actual interview.
Right.
It's a vehicle to move our story forward.
Right. All right. So you also, and he has asked you several uncomfortable questions as well, like, and he also mentioned about Suhail Seth, that he had certain observations that maybe Sunny uses her, everything that is happening around her in terms of just making into like a marketing exercise for herself as well. So how do you react to that?
I think what's great about the character that was created in season 1 was he was able to ask a lot of questions that maybe the rest of the world has the same questions. Maybe the rest of like all those people that maybe don't like me, or even if they do like me, all those questions that maybe is going through their head, questions that they have, we might have been able to touch on those.
Right.
From, very, it wasn't fun answering those questions. Let me just say that. But I think a lot of people have the same questions over and over, and maybe we were able to, like, have
Address
those,
them.
questions come out that maybe someone has, but nobody will ever ask.
You also said in the past that in US, for that matter, people they're far more liberal and open, and they don't really look at certain things in a certain parameter the way it happens in India. So this entire judgment that are thrown at you at times, I'll be honest. In fact, I have at least there's one particular journalist, and she has told me that you interview her, and the fact is that there are certain things that have happened, and maybe it's not right. So my thing was that, see, the fact is that I don't think anyone can be responsible for anything that happens in the society. It's a law and order problem. The same people, when they travel to Dubai or anywhere else, they would dare not do it because they know that the law enforcement is strict. So the fact is that I just don't understand why one has to judge anyone.
I think that it's a very natural thing to do.
Right.
It's our human nature.
Right.
To judge each other.
Right.
But
when you're just held responsible for maybe, like, say, crimes against women, how do you react to that?
I think that it's the person that's voicing that is just ignorant, and it's more annoying, and it's just an ignorant way of thinking, and maybe that brings them more popularity, and maybe that's why they say these things out loud, because I believe any educated person who has the responsibility of voicing their opinion and talking about the truth and being a journalist or covering different situations, maybe there's a tiny percentage of something that happens that relates to it, but not the entirety. It can't be that I brought along some of these issues. These issues have been going on since maybe the beginning of time,
right,
for centuries or for so many different years before I was here. So if they're looking for someone to blame, am I a soft target? Absolutely. So there's nothing that I can do about that. But I don't necessarily believe that that makes them as a human being or as a journalist doing something that's morally correct. But that's my opinion, and they have the complete opposite opinion. So, that's theirs. Maybe it makes it more popular to say my name in their sentence, but it doesn't actually do anything.
I find it funny because I have honestly, I don't get time to watch the interviews of other people, but the fact is that other people, they have pointedly, I've been sent messages which I find strange, that I really don't understand, because as I think in a way it's rightly said that even in the last episode, that only God will judge, or maybe like someone who has not made a single mistake in life, then you can say that this is right and this is wrong. So otherwise somehow it doesn't make sense.
Even like in every biblical, like scriptures and things, you see people who make mistakes or who they themselves made wrong choices, and and one thing I know is that God is the only one who will judge you, and He's the only one that might forgive you, and you have to stare at yourself in the mirror every day.
No, what I personally liked in the last episode, once again I'd like to reiterate that when you say that you started off on your journey because of the fact that you had economic issues in your family, and after that you were really caught on by the glamour and the glitz associated with the entire thing, which is fine. Which is, I think, a very honest assessment of how things can be, because anyone who is in a particular situation is the best judge to decide that what is it that I want to do. And so I really like that honesty in a way, honestly, and I don't think that why should anyone have an issue with that. I really don't understand that.
I just think that people just don't say it out loud. There's certain things we all are living or working towards something. Now, to say that you want to do it because I love that I'm getting the attention because I'm good at my job, or I love that I got a raise because I'm doing great, or I love my job because I make a lot of money. I mean, nobody says those things out loud, but that's what you're doing, right? You're making money to provide for your family, your loved ones, your children, your grandparents. In India, it's so important that everybody has a good job in your family, because they're usually joint families. You're not only taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your entire family. So you're not doing that with like in the olden times, you're going to trade, some gobi for some peas and carrots. You're doing it because you want to be successful in life and you want to provide for your family. And, that's what we work for, isn't it?
Absolutely. When I was watching that episode where you have that episode of Richard, the radio show, I have a feeling that you've always had an issues in terms of when people tend to objectify and just, in terms of that, this is what we want in terms of making an entertaining show out of you. I feel that you've always had issues with that because that comes across even in that show.
Right.
You're not comfortable.
I think, I don't know, when you're doing shows like that, when I did it so many years ago. And I'm sure if I have to recall every single feeling, I'm sure it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable. There were certain situations that were uncomfortable. But there were also situations that were fun, and it was, great to be on shows that, explored the idea of being sexually free and being able to say what you want, how you want to say it.
Right.
You're not being censored in any way, and, you get caught up in what's okay and normal for that time. So now for me, it's not okay. At that time, 10, 15 years ago, a long time ago, it was okay then, and it was fine, and it was me expressing myself, and certain situations, I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay, let me figure out how do I get myself out of this situation, which I was pretty good at back then, and I feel like I'm okay with now too.
All right. Sunny, we have a few segments to end this interview. We've taken a few fan questions. I think some of them are very interesting as well. But we'll start with the rapid fire.
Okay.
All right. And
good at this. Sorry.
No, you'll like it.
Okay.
So rapid fire with Sunny Leone. Okay, this is interesting. Sigmund Freud said all humans are born bisexual, but through psychological development, which includes both external and internal factors, most become monosexual, while the bisexuality remains in a latent state. Do you agree or disagree with Freud?
I can't speak for anybody else, but I'll agree.
You agree, all right. Okay, your surname is often mispronounced. What is weirdest that you have heard?
Karanjit Kaur?
Sunny Leone.
Oh, Sunny Leone. You know what, I have this saying that if you can spell my name in Google, then I don't care how you say it. So that's my answer. That's been my answer for a very long time.
Right.
So you can say my name any way you want, as long as you can spell it in Google, I'm good.
Google should be paying her.
I know.
All right. True or false? So following statements, you have to say whether they're true or false. All right. Sunny Leone is tired of getting typical roles.
True.
Okay. Bhupendra Chaube interview proved to be a great PR exercise for me.
For me, no, it was a horrible experience for me.
Okay. My parents would have been proud of my stint in Bollywood.
I believe so, yes.
Only God can judge, or she who has never ever made a mistake.
I believe that God can only judge just in period, whether you are right or wrong.
Okay, what would you say if you meet these following celebrities? Shah Rukh Khan.
I don't know, I get shy. I get shy when I'm in front of these people. I'm like, I don't even know what to say, and then I start saying things that doesn't make any sense, and then I figure out I'm like that weird fan that tries to come up with a sentence of how am I going to engage and speak, and then it comes out completely wrong. So what would I say to him? I don't know, I just say, hi, how have you been?
All right, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. I'm like, can we just do a scene from Top Gun, please?
Oh, okay. All right, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. I don't know. I don't know what I'd say to Tom Hanks other than, hi, how are you?
Okay, Salman Khan.
Salman Khan, just like, I just want to squeeze, can I just squeeze the one bicep? Just once. Just once. I know, weird, creepy fan. Sorry.
Mahesh Bhatt.
Thank you so much for giving me a great opportunity in life.
All right, Meryl Streep.
I don't know, she's like another person that I would be like, I don't know what to say to you because I love you, and that's all. I think I would just say, I love you. I think you're amazing.
Okay, so Sunny, within Rapid Fire, we have this segment called Ye Ya Wo, either or.
Okay.
All right, Sunny Leone ya Karanjit Kaur?
Karanjit Kaur.
Karanjit Kaur.
Yeah.
Okay, Hollywood ya Bollywood?
To work in or watch?
Good question. You can say either.
Hot! Look, I stumped them. Yes!
You can say either ways.
To work in Bollywood, to watch Hollywood.
Wow. Movies या web series to work in?
Web series.
Right.
Because I think that everything is changing.
It's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Pizza या burger?
Pizza.
Ranbir या Ranveer?
Oh God. That's a hard one. One I've met, one I have not. So I'll say Ranveer.
Okay. Netflix या Amazon?
Netflix.
Okay.
No, Z5. Z5. Hello, why is Z5 not in the interview?
That is why it's not. Instagram या Snapchat?
Instagram.
Laila या baby doll?
Layla.
Ice cream या cupcakes?
Cupcakes.
Tomato soup या manchow soup?
Well, if it's a tomato pesca, we'll take the tomato.
Android या iOS?
iOS.
Canada या USA?
USA.
Ragini MMS2 या Karanjit Kaur, The Untold Story of Sunny Leone?
Hello, Gunjit Kaur, The Untold Story of Sunny Leone.
Okay, yes or no? You have to say yes or no to these statements. Nepotism exists in Bollywood?
You know, that's like a loaded question, so if I go either or, like this would be really bad. I'll just say this. I think that everybody in life, whether it's because of your family or if you do it on your own, you have to prove yourself and you have to work hard. So whether you're doing it through the help of your family, then great. If you're doing it on your own, more power to you.
All right, casting couch exists in Bollywood?
Everywhere.
Okay. Crime against women are a law and order problem and not instigated by adult entertainment.
I don't think that it's instigated by adult entertainment. No.
Okay, if you can define your career in Bollywood in just 3 words, please.
Roller coaster, amazingness, which is not a word, but I'm going to make that a word, and like a gift. It's a gift for me. So.
Great. So we have this segment called Oh Boy, Yes I Have. Oh God, How Can I? So basically, if you have done something, you can say, oh boy, yes I have. If you find it ridiculous, so you can say, oh God, how can I?
Okay.
It's pretty simple.
Oh my God, I don't think it's simple because all the questions they're like very cheeky questions.
Okay. Oh boy, yes I have. Oh God, how can I? With Sunny Leone. Regretted an answer that you gave to a media person.
Oh boy, yes I have.
Regretted signing a movie.
Oh boy, yes I have.
Okay. Got hit on by a Bollywood star.
Oh, I wish I had. What was the other one?
Oh God, how can I?
Oh. Oh God, how can I? Oh God, how I wish it would happen. Okay.
Okay. Lied to media about something.
Yeah, like little white lies. Oh gosh, what? Oh gosh, I have?
Oh boy, yes I have.
Oh boy, yes I have.
Got pranked on a movie set.
Oh boy, yes I have.
Okay. Slept between shots.
Oh boy, yes I have.
Regretted not knowing Hindi properly.
Oh boy, yes I have.
Left something to heat in the oven and forgotten about it.
Oh boy, yes I have.
Okay.
I'm guilty of so many things. This is horrible.
Okay. Regretted Big Boss.
No.
Oh God, how can I?
Oh God, how can I?
Initiated a kiss and regretted it.
Oh, what was it?
Oh God, how can I?
Oh gosh, how could I?
Okay. Lied in this game.
Lied in this game? No.
Oh God, how can I?
Oh God, how can I?
Lied in the last question.
No, I'm not lying. No, wait, which one is it?
Lied.
Oh gosh, I wish I had. Oh my gosh.
Oh God, how can I?
Oh God, how can I? No, I have not.
All right, we'll quickly take a few fan questions. They are very interesting. Okay, and this is Rajeshwari Chaudhary from Dhanbad, India. My question is, how do you manage to have such positive vibes even in negative surroundings?
When you watch season 2 of Gunjit Kaur, you will understand why I'm so thankful and happy most of the time because all the most horrible things have already happened. So this is just a walk in the park.
Okay, this is Astitwa from Panipat, Haryana. Hi Sunny, I'm a big fan. While watching Karanjit Kaur, I felt I was seeing something original, not anything scripted. How did you manage to ooze out those emotions?
I was able to ooze out these emotions because they were real. That's
okay.
How.
How important is it for you to just have that that element of period in a way, because when you're having that 1981 or 1994, so the way the color combination is changing, and the radio set suddenly it becomes from the older era. I think it's done nicely. It's done very nicely.
Aditya, the director,
Aditya Dutt.
and the DOP for season 1, they spent a lot of time, I think, doing what most films should do, which is color coordinating everything, whether it goes into a certain time, a color tone that goes in a certain time period, clothes that go into a certain time period. So all those things, hair, look, makeup, all of it, they went into every single detail. I can't even tell you how many times I heard color palette. Ugh! I'm like, what's wrong with these clothes? It doesn't fit in my color palette. Oh my gosh.
Okay, this is interesting. Ankur Sharma from Kolkata. We want to see a Sunny Leone in action movie like Angelina do in Hollywood. Is she want to do an action movie? Please ask. You want to do a Hollywood, like an action film?
In Hollywood,
Not in Hollywood. I think what he says, even in Bollywood, if you.
In Bollywood,
can,
I
like
would
web
love.
series.
I love action. I love action. I like thrillers. I like horror. I like drama. So I'm very much into action films. So if I get a chance, and I would love to.
Great. Arvind from Karimnagar. I'm pretty sure that she doesn't even know a few of these cities, but
No.
the people who have sent questions from there. Sunny, if you could describe your fan following in one word, what would it be?
The most amazing people ever. There is no one word. What kind of question is this? One word. How do I give you guys one word? You deserve many words.
Okay, this is Beyza from Turkey, Beyza from Turkey. We always talk about movies, but I want to learn your favorite book.
My favorite book? Okay, the books I'm reading right now, because I'm so obsessed with Dexter, is the Dexter books. Don't ask me why I'm obsessed with Dexter. I just love him. So I love him so much that I am reading now the books. So I'm on the third one.
This is Ricky from Los Angeles, California. So Karanjit, name some producers in Bollywood who you had a terrible experience with.
Oh wow, that's like a loaded question. I will never answer.
No, but he has asked. I'm not
I know. So that's a question I would skip over, because with every bad experience was a learning experience.
Rakesh from Vizag, any fun incident you'd like to share with us which took place while shooting for Karanjit Kaur?
Fun. I mean, every day was like a really interesting experience.
Right.
I loved being in Cape Town. I found out that I love Cape Town. And I tell everybody, I'm like, I will work for less money if you book it in Cape Town. Like, let me just throw that out there for the rest of the world.
You guys shot in Cape Town for this one?
Yes, Cape Town.
Oh, okay. So basically, you've cheated Los Angeles for Cape Town.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
It's one of those cities that looks just like Malibu does, or Pacific Palisades, or Los Angeles. The atmosphere, the people, everything. It was perfect.
Nitin Rathore from Aurangabad, how will you describe your journey in one word?
Crazy. Amazing. Crazy in a good way.
Sure. Nitin also has a question. You adopted a girl from Latur. What was the reason behind this noble decision?
I believe that Nisha chose us. So we wanted to adopt a little girl, and one day we got a letter saying that she was from Latur. So I didn't pick Latur. Latur picked us, and Nisha picked us. And she's the most amazing, most beautiful little girl ever. I think if there's like one thing India's given me that's the most amazing thing in my entire life, it would be Nisha. There's going to be nothing bigger could actually come from my entire journey. And at the end of my journey, when I'm like 60 years old or 65, and say, but what did India give you? And I go, India gave me Nisha.
Wow.
Yeah.
Finally, what is Veeram Devi all about?
Veer Mahadevi.
Yep.
It's a South film that'll probably be shot later this year, and it's an action. It's a period film, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope people like it.
Okay, so apart from the second season of Karanjit Kaur, anything else in terms of movies that you've signed?
Yeah, there's a film that I'll shoot under my own production house this year. So that I'm very excited about.
In Bollywood? Okay.
So it's something that we've been working on for the last year, and it's finally coming full circle.
So what is it all about?
That I have to tell you later.
Okay.
I'm getting a don't talk about it.
Ah.
Right behind you.
Okay.
They're like hawks. They're watching. They're like, don't say anything about anything.
Right.
So that's exciting. And then I have my cosmetic line that I'm so beyond excited about, which I've been working on a lot and very diligently working on it. So I'm excited about that. That's so amazing.
So you already have this web series. So at any point of time, do we see like a autobiography or biography that is authorized by you at some point of
I
time?
don't know what else. I mean, I've kind of put myself out there. I don't know if somebody would want to watch.
Well, reading is a different ballgame altogether.
Yeah,
Reading
but
is a different ballgame.
it's not like something that I don't know if I want to go. I don't want to put myself through this like
Again and again.
again and again. So yeah, it's not a fun journey. Maybe later in life when I like have nothing else to do, and I'm like I have nothing to do, so let me write about my life.
Right.
But even then, I'm not sure if I would. Yeah.
So Sunny Leone, as always, wonderful talking to you. And yep, so keep on doing what you're doing, and we hope that you keep on rocking. And this one is a really interesting one. Karanjit Kaur, the untold story of Sunny Leone, and we hope that to see the season 2 very soon, and all your future ventures. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.
Hi, I'm Sunny Leone, and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.